WRDE's Cody Decker is live in Salisbury. And Cody, that is where two of the teams will soon get the season underway.
Maddie, the Friday night lights are on, and Parkside is the home team here tonight against Stephen Decatur. No matter who is playing, Wicomico County and the high schools are excited to get back to football.
WRDE's Cody Decker live in Ocean City. And Cody, the total amount of prize money this year will crush last year's record.
Maddie, we just saw the first fish come in. The fender bender out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, brought in an 82.5-pound white marlin. Out of the 441 boats that are registered, 421 went out today. Another world record prize total will be given this year at $9.2 million. We arrived to the dock about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and the Harbor Island Marina had many viewers here already holding their spots around the scale. Tournament staff members were getting the scale ready. We talked with some people who are excited to see what catches come in, and the crowd has some first-timers and others who make coming here a priority every year.
I came in 2014, and it was amazing to watch the fish go up on the scale. And back then, the Maryland Food Bank took all the fish donations, and it's just so much fun.
I've never been. I've seen it on pictures and TV before, but now that we've both moved down here, we're locals. It's my first time being here, and I'm stoked.
Now, we did just receive news that was given to the crowd here that a boat sank, but the team is okay, and there was another fishing team that did help them with their rescue. Coming up tonight at 11:30, I will show you some of the catches that were made for today. But for now, this is Cody Decker with coverage you can count on from Ocean City, WRDE Coast TV News. Mallory, the high school sports fall season was the first trial to see if sports could continue through the pandemic. Now, with another peak in COVID-19 cases, discussions are starting about indoor sports, and traveling out of state to tournaments will not be possible beginning next week.
We're going to take every day and appreciate every day in practice. We try and appreciate every game that we have.
Seaford football head coach Mark Quillen noted back in September how the mindset for athletes and coaches is different during COVID-19. Every snap, every play, every score could be the last in a moment's notice. Governor Carney's COVID-19 restrictions changed some aspects of sports in the first state. For example, football games are limited to a percentage of home fans with limited away fans. The number of fans allowed at an indoor event will be determined in the coming weeks. The DIAA will begin discussions about winter sports in 2 weeks to determine what safety measures need to be in place, like how many people can be in one space.
The 50-person gathering may still allow for some fans. And it may be wholly separate from the number of coaches and competitors on the two teams that are meeting and then having capacity for fans.
High school athletes have been given their opportunities to play, but younger players may be losing some of their chances. On December 1st, travel teams will not be able to go out of state for tournaments, and venues here in Delaware cannot host teams from other states. Sports at the Beach is slated to host their first baseball tournament on March 13th. One parent I spoke with has a son whose entire high school season was scrapped in the spring. He sees the new restrictions affecting the indoor sports more than outdoors.
We're heading into the winter season, and there's not a ton of travel that really happens with regard to that. So, hopefully in the spring, things will be looking better, and they'll open things back up. The DIAA Board of Directors will have their next meeting on December 10th. They are planning to discuss winter sports safety guidelines for athletes, coaches, and fans. With coverage you can count on, I'm Cody Decker in Lewis, WRDE Coast TV News.
That is how the games went on the court. For the reaction on campus in Newark, we go to WRDE's Cody Decker.
The Blue Hens basketball teams came in as major underdogs, but also came in hungry to make a run in the NCAA tournament. The doubleheader began with a full Perkins Student Center cheering on the men, who as a 5 seed won the CAA tournament championship, and were dealt a battle with Villanova. Students know how talented the team is.
They were always good, but now their skill is just being more visible to the public, nationwide and even globally.
The watch party was filled with team supporters who were excited to get together and cheer the team on, despite being defeated by the Wildcats.
I'm really excited. I mean, we're not a huge basketball school. I think everyone kind of knows that, so being in the tournament is a big deal for all of us. We're just, everyone's really excited to be here watching the game.
The women followed with a first-round matchup against the University of Maryland. Some students stuck around to watch a team fight their hardest against the Terrapins. The Blue Hens coming off a 24-win season and their own CAA tournament championship. While neither team was able to come out with a win, students were proud to see the players playing on the big stage, and some even have the honor of taking classes with the players.
I have an English class with one of the players, so our professor was like, hey, we got somebody in our class that's down there, so root him on. So we were doing that all day. But now that I'm able to look at the field or look at the court and see that I'm actually in classes with some of these kids, it's just kind of crazy to think about that.
Even with their seasons ending, students are confident in the future of University of Delaware basketball.
I'm really rooting for us for next season. We're going to still be going strong and do the best we can, and we're going to make it back. You'll see us next year.
With coverage you can count on in Newark, Cody Decker, WRDE, Coast TV News.
The women's basketball team fought their way to a win over TCNJ 65-58 on Wednesday night. Down 6 points with 7:49 to play, Rowan went on a 12-0 run to help take the lead. Guard Anissa Sanchez had a double-double with 17 points and 13 rebounds. Guard Summer Crilly had 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. The Profs improved to 7-1 overall and 3-1 in the NJAC. They host Montclair State on Saturday at 1 p.m. The Rowan women's swimming and diving team also picked up a victory against Pace University, 144-93. The 200 medley and freestyle relay teams took first place. Emily Lebensky won the 200 IM with a time of 2 minutes, 16.96 seconds, and the 200 butterfly with a time of 2 minutes, 21.49 seconds. Bailey Howarth also won 2 events, the 500 freestyle and the 200 breaststroke. The team improved to 3-2 on the season and will compete in the WPI Gompe Invitational this weekend. In a non-conference matchup, the men's basketball team fell to Eastern University 116-99 on Monday night. Forward Lincoln Holly had a double-double for the Eagles with 11 points and 11 rebounds. Forward Shaquan Turk was the leading scorer with 23 points. He shot a perfect 8 for 8 from the field and 4 for 4 from the free throw line. For the Profs, forward Sean Wilson had 21 points and guard Rod DePerge had 15. On Saturday night, Rowan played host to Christopher Newport University. After a 42-yard interception return by Ryan Brenner, the Profs turned defense into offense as Rowan scored the only points of the first quarter on a 10-yard touchdown run by Galen Bragg. Later on in the second quarter, Rowan kicker Tyler Knighton kicked a 34-yard field goal to make their lead 10-0. After the captains forced a punt to start the second half, they took the ball and had an 8-play, 45-yard drive resulting in a touchdown. That was all the scoring there would be as Rowan won 10-7. Rowan hosts 13th ranked and NJAC leading Salisbury University for homecoming on Saturday, October 8th. A lot of fielding errors from the Profs, and part of it is just the lack of experience during this time of the season. Now, you're talking about a Rowan team that's 28-10-1. That's 39 games played already going into a conference tournament. Not a lot of teams play a lot of games, but Rowan doing 2 trips at the beginning of the season might have stopped their momentum a bit here with this loss. You're talking about a 7th inning where, again, there were 4 fieldable balls. 2 were recorded for errors. 2 ended up being recorded for hits, but definitely outs could have been made. Stockton got 3 runs in that top of the 7th inning when Rowan was up 2-1 after 6 innings. And Stockton did a really good job of just putting the ball in play, making things happen. That's what you have to do in the postseason. Rowan did have some bright spots, though. Cassandra Gerard went 3 for 4, had a double in the game as well as a run scored. And that's what you really need from your cleanup hitter. But from the captain, Morgan Smith, she ended up going 0 for 4, had the RBI ground out in the bottom of the 6th to make the game 2-1, but we need more production out of her, I think. If you're Rowan and you're Coach Wilson. I have Sam Darnold, and he's the top quarterback on my board. And, you know, Sam Darnold coming off a year at USC where he had 26 touchdowns. But he had 20 turnovers, which might be the con with Sam Darnold here. And I think that's what the Browns are thinking, seeing that they've considered Josh Allen. They've also considered Baker Mayfield. But watching Sam Darnold's pro day, I think he was very natural with throwing the football. And I think he moved really well. So, you know, we're talking about a Cleveland Browns team who now has Jarvis Landry. Josh Gordon's going to be back. Carlos Hyde possibly in the backfield. Maybe they go Saquon Barkley, who knows. But I really think they need that signal caller. And with the Giants possibly taking a quarterback, depending on Eli's future, and the Jets definitely taking a quarterback at 3, I just think the Browns need to take a quarterback, and I think Darnold's the top guy.